Welcome to the GoOutLiving Attitude, a cancer survivor's journey through health and wellness, helping others search for the tools to bring us a healthier and happier lifestyle. Hi everybody, Jonathan Brandt, GoOutLiving. Today's special guest is Kim Rogers, known as the Worm Queen. She turned her chronic illness into a global self-healing movement, helping hundreds of thousands reclaim their health. She is the original inventor of Parasitic Cleanse, as well as the founder and CEO of Roger Hood Apothecary. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here, Kim.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat about worms.
Heck yeah. Where did it start? That's the first question.
You want me to do my full rundown so everyone can hear that I'm not just some random worm lady on the internet?
Definitely. I mean, that's the thing. We all have something. You might as well get it out there, right?
That's right. So in 2019, I almost died. And what's kind of crazy about the whole situation is I actually come from Western medicine. I've been in Western medicine since 2004. I ran 25 healthcare colleges. I hold 2 healthcare degrees. I've written curriculum as well as authored books for large publishing companies for my curriculum while building the different academics that I was working in. I hold over 15 certifications. I worked in the emergency room. I worked in neurology, and my health was trash. I had 13 surgeries and a hysterectomy when I was 29 years old. I had 5 surgeries before my hysterectomy for endometriosis. Then I had 5 surgeries after my hysterectomy for endometriosis, and no one could figure out what was wrong with me. So in 2019, my health declined so rapidly that my husband and I decided to gather our life together and to move out to a piece of property that we owned that we were planning on retiring on in our late 40s. And I decided I needed to figure out what was wrong with me and or die and not leave him with no mortgage and no debt. And so we went on this mission. We sold everything. We quit our careers. We moved out there in 2019. And then in 2020, it hit, but we were already in our hermity phase, living on the property. We had logs that we were building a log home, which by the way is finished. We were building this log home so my husband had a place to go when something happened to me and he could just go live a normal life. And so that's what we were doing. We were trying to figure out my health. We were trying to build a log home. We were living in a travel trailer, basically homeless, because it was just a piece of raw property that was outskirts of a rainforest. And so we really wanted to figure out what we could do for me. And so I started researching herbs and I started looking at the human body in the same way I looked at it when I was in Western medicine. I looked at how pharmaceuticals work on the human body and what matched those pharmaceuticals. So over that year and a half of me before going viral, I really focused in on mushrooms and different types of herbs and really getting me off of medicine that I had been on, like Klonopin, which is a benzodiazepine. I was on it for 22 years at the highest milligrams you could possibly be on. Why? What symptoms was that causing me? What else was happening to my body because I was on these big pharmaceutical medications that were giving me major side effects that they were trying to diagnose me with other things because of those side effects. I stopped pooping for a month. I didn't know why. How do I explain all of this in my mind to my body? So in July of 2021, I went on TikTok. I had a small TikTok account. Just so everyone knows, I had around 10,000 followers. I now have 1.5 million followers across all of my platforms. And I came across a gal's video that said, I almost unalived myself over worms. And it stopped me in my tracks. One, because are you kidding me? We have worms. And second, I thought I had worms years before, and my doctors gaslit me and told me there's no way you can have worms in first world countries like ours. And I always said, really? Like, it's human bodies. We can have worms. I have a little itchy butt during the full moon. Like, isn't that kind of a sign? Nope, no, Kim. Nope, that's not it at all. Okay, great. Move past it, put my head in the sand like most of us do when we don't want to look into something further. So I did this gal's cleanse that I came across that said I almost unalived myself over worms. And within 3 days, the pain that I had on my right side, that was an indication it was time for me to have my 14th surgery, which at that point in time, my doctors had said, you can no longer have surgeries, Kim. You can't be put over under anymore. And we can't keep cutting on you. You're actually causing more harm than good. And so I saw roundworm flukes and pinworms in the toilet within 3 days. I've never been the same since. I've never had the pain back ever again. And I immediately grabbed my phone and I made a video. I made a 60-second video that changed my life. Within 2 hours of making the video, where all I said was, I come from Western medicine and I've never dewormed myself until now. I had them come out my skin and my urine. And eventually I did a fulvic soak and they came out my feet. And I have it all on film because I don't even believe it some days that this is my life. I have to go and watch videos. I feel like it's such an imposter type of situation. I'm like, that's not me. Oh my God, it is. So the first 2 hours of the video, 1 million people watched me. I gained 200,000 followers overnight, and total views on that video is 10.6. And before big tech wised up, I used to get 40 to 50 million views a month over on TikTok. And so I started to really look at this is something happening here. And we were in the 2020 world, right? So we were really like herbs and pivoting and big Western medicine is like being exposed. So it was such an optimal time for me to actually watch how the community responded inside of the comments. And so I started building on that. I started making videos every day. The first day that I went viral, I made 10 videos. And after that, I just started making videos. And I've done this every day since July 18th of 2021. I've never taken a day off from speaking about worms. I'm on hundreds and hundreds of podcasts a month at times, it feels like. But it's such an important topic that's not being discussed because other countries cleanse. Other countries know this is a thing. We got our worms from our water. Our community well that was in Hoodsport, Washington, but we also tested other cities' wells and other cities' water, like Seattle, and they've come back positive for nematodes, which is a physical worm. And so it just started making me go down a wormhole. And in the midst of all of that, I was still very ill. We were still living in a trailer. We had just put our logs down on our foundation. So we were in the thick of us building, but there was no way I couldn't build a business off of this. There's no way with the way that other companies that I was talking about their cleanses, they were not transparent. And I'm full transparency. Like I'm literally exposing things and I'm talking about your company and I need to have transparency. So about 3.5 months into this, I started my own business, Rogers Hood, and I created my own parasite cleanse so that I could have control over my products and control over what I say. And so it was really like some days I would work 8 hours talking about other people's products. And again, no transparency. So it kind of all started from one video. And, we all go on the internet to be able to use our voices and push our message. And that's why I was on there. I just never really thought that I would go viral, one, over worms. And so when that happened, I thought, I don't want to be known as the worm lady. I want a crown. I really want to have this be fun. Who wants to sit and talk about this crazy topic without a smile, right? Without a smile.
Love it. I love it. And the Worm Queen was born.
Yep, she was born. And I make merch around it. I mean, I have run with this. I've got worms with crowns on them in my mushrooms because I learned about Amanita in the midst of all this. I
Oh
love
my
Amanita.
God.
She's a great mushroom. But I literally just want people to be healthy. And we have helped hundreds of thousands of people deworm their body, get rid of candida, move some heavy metals out, help with inflammation, mucus. We kind of talked a little bit before about what environmental toxins can do with the big C. And it's about moving that stagnant in your body because your body doesn't know what the stagnant is. So it builds a biofilm around it. And that's the difficult part of understanding why a parasite cleanse like Parafy is so important for us to do 3 to 4 times a year, because we just don't fully understand our human body. We just weren't taught, right? We were indoctrinated. We just weren't taught about how to take care of these bodies, these temples of ours.
We were almost taught leave it up to the guys with, letters behind their name. We
Mhm.
weren't
The
taught for
alphabet.
ourselves to trust our own bodies, basically.
Mhm. Yeah. Gaslit. I
Yeah,
mean, I
but
just I can't I'm glad I was gaslit because I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. But I didn't gaslight my patients. I mean, I worked in Western medicine with I hold a license in medical specialties that I let lapse and when all of this started because I didn't want to have a license and be restricted to that. But I always let my patients have validation because that's all we ever want when we're chronically ill.
yeah, I was the same way. I was a CNA, helicopter pilot, medical. I was there, and I
Mm.
dealt with it throughout my cancer battle, and so all that resonates with me. Here's what I don't get: why is it ignored so much?
They don't have any way of curing it.
So big pharma doesn't.
Yeah.
Basically,
And
is what
what's
we're.
there is no real way, to be honest with you, to cure it. So when you have parasites in your body, the goal is to calm the symptoms down and keep your cells moving. So when your cells become stagnant, they turn into malignancy. And they do know that over time, I mean, there's some conspiracy theories. They're not really conspiracy, they're truth. The facts of the way Western medicine was built is actually built on the hookworm in 1940s 19 not 1940s in 1909. Dr. Stiles came out and was trying to eradicate the hookworm that was in the South. Around 40% of the people in the South had hookworm, which leads to anemia. So if you have anemia, you should do a parasite cleanse because it's absorbing all of your iron. So no matter what you try and do, you're not actually getting iron into the tissue because it's going directly into a foreign object in your body, an environmental toxin that is a real frequency alive in your body. And so in 1909, Dr. Stiles really tried to eradicate it with fear mongering, and that didn't work well. So Rockefeller came in and said, "Let me help you, buddy." So he went around to county fairs and actually took stool samples of people in the South and showed them the worms moving in their stool and coming out their skin, and they still denied it. And it's because it's an alive frequency in our bodies that can control our thoughts. So, of course, they don't want to be known. And I just think everybody that denies it is just full of worms because they really don't know where, it's like that movement that you have during the full moon, that itchy butt that you have, is not because you didn't wipe well or use the bidet. It's because a worm is coming out of your anus and dropping eggs that then you itch and they're microscopic and you go like this or you go like this and they go into your body and you reproduce them. This is science. This is medicine. This isn't just some random thought that I had. Like, it's really about understanding how easy it is. I say that pinworms are lice of the butt because once you get them, everybody can get them and they live in your appendix. They're very difficult to get rid of. We are told just to eat chocolate or eat this pinworm medicine over the counter, but they don't teach us how you have to continue to do it every few days after to get rid of the eggs and to bind because they don't know. And so when this all got exposed and I started digging in, I'm like, oh, so Western medicine is built on worms. Got it. Right. Rockefeller, who was a philanthropist who tried to eradicate it, finally came to the conclusion that we just have to make it so that your body doesn't respond to them, go into a remission. And I think it hurt his ego. To be honest with you, I think it hurt his ego. And then he just turned on it and was like, nope, worms are not real here in first world countries, where other countries, and I talk to people from around the world every day, they do this. And I get in my comments and people are like, you guys are crazy in America if you're not doing this. You're crazy to think that you are an exception to the rule, that our water isn't contaminated, that salmon doesn't have worms, which is number 2 way of catching worms is eating salmon, or that pigs are a huge reason you can catch a tapeworm. Look, RFK Jr., he has neurocystic which is a tapeworm of the brain from eating undercooked pork. Do you know he probably didn't even realize he was eating undercooked pork? And it just takes one microscopic egg to then release and hatch, especially if you're chronically ill, which, what our country, like 65% of us are. So that means for sure 65% of us have worms. You got a pet, you got worms. You're out there deworming your animals, but we're not out there deworming ourselves. And I found this to be a really huge indication of why we're chronically ill in our country.
Well, I mean, that brings up ivermectin to me,
Yeah, let's talk
where,
about it. Love
yeah,
talking
I
about the
mean,
Ivor.
the the reason I bring it up is my wife, out of trying to cure her cancer, that was one of the things she was trying.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, she truly believed she had worms. And I'll be
Mhm.
honest, I just sat there going, not that I totally disbelieved it, but like, isn't there, there's more I got to deal with here. You know what I mean? While I'm like, we got to get rid of the cancer before I get rid of a worm kind of thing.
A
But,
worm can be
eh,
that,
and
Jonathan.
that's what I missed, and that's where she was trying to get into my head.
Right.
This is a real thing.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, she passed in
I'm
January.
sorry.
Oh, no, that's life, but I wish we would have kind of gone more full force at it back then
Yeah.
when we were really going through everything. So, okay, worms are
You
real.
only know I wanna go back to that real quick. You only know what you know. And because this is so hidden from us, and this is why I'm so loud. To be honest with you, I have documents that were released in 1953 from the CIA that shows that malignant tumors are endoparasites. They're similar in resemblance and they're similar in structure. And that they released that in 2016. I found it and I've held on to it. And funny enough, when I went viral in 21, it wasn't even something that made me think about going viral or that I had even found it. It wasn't until 2 months later that I actually was scrolling through pictures on my phone and I realized I had found it. They know, but they don't have a way to help us. So can you imagine the loud uproar, right? The craziness to think that there is something out there. Do I think that every cancer is parasites? No. But I do think that we're such stagnant environments that we live in. We have heavy metals, which weight down parasites in a biofilm. Our body's trying to protect us from what's inside of that biofilm and continues to build bad cells around it, causing it to be even more stagnant and no way of breaking that biofilm down to release what's inside of that can release on its own. And that's what's scary is there's no controlled release when you're going in and breaking down biofilm and what's inside of it. When you bring in synthetics, because that's what I call iverfenbendazole and menbendazole, we call them synthetics in my world because we use so many herbs in life. I do believe you should be using some synthetics, especially if you're in a situation like what you guys were in and what my husband and I were in. We were just being pelted with worm water. We were not able to catch up even using herbs. And so we found out through process of elimination with our stool that we had crypto. I had cryptosporidium parvium, which is parvo, which kills puppies. And my husband had D. fragilis, which is a protozoa. But the protozoa lived with roundworm. And we were unable to get those tests from LabCorp, which is here in the United States. We had to send our stool out. The same stool that tested negative at LabCorp tested positive in Mexico because our country does not have good testing. Now, if you're going to use ivermectin, fenbendazole, and menbendazole, fenbendazole, Joe Tippin, he has an entire protocol around fenbendazole. He takes it every day. He had like 2 or 3 days to live, and or 2 or 3 weeks to live or something. And he started taking fenbendazole, and he takes it every day, and he broke down what they said was cancer. Well, yeah, it was breaking down all of the tumors and all of the abnormalities inside of his body that had that hardened shell. The part that is not talked about is that when you do a synthetic like that for 5 days, you have to do herbs behind it. So, Parify is, and this isn't medical advice, this is what me and Jeremy did, my husband. We would do the synthetics, we would give ourselves a 5 days, then we would do the Parify kit, which is like a Z pack. It would come in and it would help with small intestinal parasites. It would help with lungs because pinworms and threadworms live in our lungs. It helps with brain. It helps as a full body reset, removing inflammation, removing mucus, which is where they live, breaking down biofilm. I learned how to break the biofilm down using lungwort lichen, which is a herb that's found in the rainforest. I also learned how to move out bacteria and viruses using another herb called usnea. And when you synergistically use these herbs together with killing herbs, they go in and support your body while killing the environmental toxins like parasites, mold, and candida and heavy metals. And so when you start to systematically look at your body as a whole and you start to move things out, you will see changes. Now, will all of your test results come back negative? I don't know. But I can tell you that my quality of life is totally different than it was 5 years ago before I did this.
Okay, so let's take me, for instance. Recovering from cancer, a lot of gut issues, a lot of inflammation, lost 6 inches of my colon over last summer. On a lot of different supplements right now, trying to get my lining back.
Hmm.
Do I do a dewormer?
Yes. You should do it every day, friend. You
And this
you
should
should
be
just take
done.
5-day breaks in between and that's it. Like, you should be a lifer on Parify or moving your lymph or getting yourself on a good regimen. There are a lot of doctors out there now. I have a couple pharmacies that I work with that you should be on something every day to keep your cells moving because your cells pre-existing are stagnant. And so they will start building a hard shell and then your body will start pushing it to be protected. And that's really the parts that we don't talk about in the medicine world because we don't want to go outside of our box.
Okay, so somebody that is completely healthy, but like you said, probably does have something because we're too arrogant to be honest with you. That's part of the
Percent.
Western society. Um, how do you start? I mean, do you just start? Do you try and get some testing done to find out exactly what it is, or you just go ahead and do it?
Want me to show you how easy it is to start? Done.
Love it.
I'm done. I got the herbs in my body. It's a tincture, so it automatically absorbed into my bloodstream immediately. You have worms in your mouth, you have parasites in your mouth. They now it coats all the way down and it's absorbing into my body. And it's as simple as taking 15 drops 3 times a day for as long as you want. We say 30 days to help people in their minds because anything beyond that is a lot for people to fully understand or be like, "Oh my god, it's going to be a lifelong thing." Well, I'd like to live a good quality of life. I think that where we're at in society is that we don't want to have that longevity. We want to have a quick fix, and that's where our mistakes are made. But I recommend someone who is recovering from cancer. It's such a weird thing for me to say because I'm so heavily censored everywhere I go. I'm I can't say ivermectin, so it feels so like I'm sweating from saying it. I'm always in trouble.
Oh my, not here.
I
You
take
can say
I
whatever you want.
It feels crazy. It feels crazy. I took on
Oh,
big pharma, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, Western medicine and we had a falling out, and I am in revenge mode for the rest of my life. I didn't need a hysterectomy. I have chronic Lyme, and I've had Lyme since I was 12, and I was misdiagnosed for 30 plus years. I'm 47 years old, and I have been sick my whole life because of arrogance of Western medicine. And so my mission here in life is to make sure that no one has to go through what I went through, and to do it with a smile, and to just understand that these things are real and that you don't have to succumb to this type of life, that you really can have sovereignty over your own life. And even if you bring a little bit of your patient advocacy into your doctor's office with your knowledge and they tell you you're full of it, go find another doctor, because there are doctors out there who are going to help. I found an amazing natural doctor, Jonathan, that I think you should go look at. Her name is Dr. Juliana Giles, and she is an oncology specialist for chemo, for cancer. She also knows mushrooms. So, turkey tail is a great thing you should be taking. I don't know if you know this, but I'm happy to talk about it really quick.
Please.
So if you go and look at studies shown that turkey tail at 5 grams a day is a therapeutic dose, and they give it to patients that are on chemo meds and have cancer to break down tumors. It also boosts your immune system. And if you go look at the studies of other countries that have had breast cancer or prostate cancer, my dad takes it at 5 grams a day since I entered into his life helping him with prostate cancer. He is in remission, and it's because he takes turkey tail at 5 grams a day. You then should take lion's mane at 5 grams a day. Those are therapeutic doses. Those are more than just supplements. And so that will actually help drive, because lion's mane helps go through the blood brain barrier, driving all herbs across the blood brain barrier and bringing that assistance into your whole body. Parasites have a huge indication of all of these things that we're suffering from on a daily basis. Candida is a huge reason why you have skin issues. Candida is an overgrowth of yeast, that we all have yeast in our body. But when you start to crave sugar and salt, you're feeding that candida. Parasites live amongst each other. So if you have one, you probably have more. If you've been exposed to mold, you probably have parasites as well. They all live around each other in your body, creating an ecosystem. And they're all living in a hardened shell called the biofilm, which is a house. And when you burn that house down, you expose them. But you can't just expose them and think they're going to go away. They're just going to migrate somewhere else. So you have to expose them and slowly pick them out. And that's what my kit does. That is what the Parafy kit helps do. We're not here to cure you, but I do want you to see what it feels like to be normal, not inflamed. The mucus starts to move out of your body. And within 3 to 7 days, you start to realize that brain fog was not you. That something inside of your body was triggering you and telling you something is wrong, grinding your teeth. That is your body telling you that you are lacking magnesium and zinc. Why? And calcium. Why? Well, because parasites can absorb 6 to 8 times their weight, heavy metal, spores, bacteria, and 90% of your nutrients. So all those supplements you are taking, if you've never moved parasites out of your body, they're absorbing them. So one, you're wasting your money. Two, you're only getting 10%. So your body is trying to run on that 10%, which then creates even more stress and tax your body even more. So maybe you didn't have any sort of kidney issues, but now your kidneys have to produce more energy to help your liver that's now taxed because you have a liver fluke. So you have to go in systematically and help remove these toxins slowly. And that's what I learned in the woods while I was dying and found out I had parasites. I then created the Parafy kit and created this Rogers Hood company, which we have a 14,000 square foot manufacturing facility. We custom built ourselves. I have 45 employees. We've sold over 350,000 kits. We have over 1.5 million followers inside of my community, because this realization was so heavy for me and I needed to get this message out to people. This is normal. It's normal. It's just not normal to us.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm wasting a lot of money. Okay. What are the side effects?
So I don't think you're wasting money. I think your body needs to have some supplements in it in order for it to continue to thrive and give energy over to other organs that might not be doing as much as they should be because they're being taxed so heavily. So I want you to take a Parafy kit when we're done with this. I think I messaged you in there and we have like affiliate. I'm happy to send you my lymph kit. So once you sign up, I just need you to let me know so I can send you my lymphatic drainage kit, which will definitely help with any brain fog you're having. I listened to my community and they were like, it's really hard to start because you have to make sure you're peeing, pooping, and perspiring before you start any parasite cleanse. So it's difficult for people to get that going. And so I created a kit that is like a precursor to taking a parasite cleanse, including the Parafy kit. I also have free resources inside of all of my links. I have around 10 free ebooks. I don't charge for my knowledge. I do this every day, all day long, in order for people to get the knowledge. I sell a kit. That's what supports me. We're organic, we're ethically sourced, and we're finishing up good manufacturing practices, which might not mean a lot to some people, but that means that we're recognized by the FDA. We're not approved, but we're recognized, and they can come in anytime and look at our facility. And we're happy to have them come and look at our facility because we want that transparency. Some of the side effects of doing a parasite cleanse, specifically with the Parafy kit, is things like flu-like symptoms, headaches, you're not on the toilet a lot. That's kind of a question I get every day. It's really easy. It's 3 times a day. It's 15 drops a day of all 3 tinctures, and you bind at night. And in Western medicine fashion, I created instructions. It's literally in a kit. So you don't have to do anything because I know society quite well. And it's so easy, even my husband can do it. And that's really what made me create this, because when I was going viral and I was talking about other people's products, it was very confusing. I would say, grab this tincture and grab this pill, and you got to bind at night, and you got to take this heavy metal detox. And there was nothing there. There was no product all in one space. And that is so important for people to do this. And other countries know this. And so you can go to their pharmacy for $7 and get a pill that costs $1,000 here in our country. Fenbendazole costs $1,000 a pill. It's wild. And they don't care that their society goes and takes it because, like, Mexico knows their water is terrible. Well, ours is worse. Our water in our country is worse. I won't drink our water in our country. I'll go drink Mexico's water before I'll drink the United States' water. And everyone knows that about me. It really is a thing on the internet where I love to talk smack about our water because I've tested it and I have facts and I have proof that they don't test our water for nematodes. So you're showering in this water that's not filtered. You're drinking the tap water. You're going to restaurants, drinking their ice, drinking the water they pour in. We're not drinking filtered water. So you're drinking everything in that water, and that's all absorbing into your body. So I know this is scary for people and they're listening to me kind of freaking out. It happens all the time. It's why I do fun videos where I'm pointing and laughing about the salmon with the worms in it because sushi has worms. And so it's really about taking your authority and your health in your own hands and really understanding that it might not be you, and that doctor you're going to who gave you 5 minutes doesn't know about this. And so you put yourself in a box of not looking outside of it. And at the end of the day, you have to lay your head down and go, I did everything I can do that I know, right? If you don't know, then you now know. And so if you research the way other countries do their parasite cleanses and understand the way parasites move throughout the body, even Western medicine was built on the hookworm. So our country of Western medicine and our global public health systems was built in 1909 to 1924 on the hookworm because it was killing the Southerners. And so we built our strategies on how to slowly give education and knowledge to the public so that they can understand. And between 1909 and where we're at now, we lost that. We lost that capability and that history and that understanding. And I come from academics, so I understand fully how it was lost. But I'm here now to explain to people that it's not going to hurt you. Your side effects of taking wormwood and Oregon grapefruit are so much less than the side effects of your chronic illness of having a worm or heavy metals or mold in your body or a parasite. So you shouldn't be afraid. And I made it so easy. Like, seriously, it's easy.
I think what's hard for me to understand is how, again, the arrogance of the Western world, of something that happens in the entire world, and we continue to put this as alternative, as holistics, as it's just, it doesn't affect everybody. We keep pushing things away. You know what I mean?
I
And that's
do.
about everything that happens. I mean, if you get stuck in that Western medicine, like me and my wife with the cancer and all that, you lose your perspective almost on what is actually healthy. And I almost feel like that's where we are as a society. We're so unhealthy right now for so many reasons. You brought up Lyme disease, for instance.
Yep.
I had somebody on that talked about Lyme disease because her entire family had it.
Hmm.
And of course, the doctors didn't tell them. They had to go out and find it for themselves. And I mean, the amount of people that probably have it that don't know about it is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
You know,
It's
but that's the
crazy.
same thing you're talking about too. Again, this is all, is it natural? It's natural
Yes.
that we're going to get this. I mean,
A
either way
hundred
you
percent.
look at it,
Yes.
yet we want to ignore it for whatever reason because
This is
they can't
natural.
make enough money.
And it's crazy because they can. And they everybody says, oh, it's because, they can't cure you, or it is natural. You go outside in the dirt. That's how 1909 to 1924, they figured it out that the hookworm was going up into these people's feet because the outhouses were overflowing, running shit downhill. And then everyone was walking in the fields barefoot, and the pigs were eating it, and it was all festering inside, and then they would kill and slaughter the animals and eat them and eat the hookworm, but they would go up through their feet. People don't realize that your skin is your largest organ and it absorbs everything. When you go into a shower or a lake or a bath, your skin absorbs 2 cups of water every 15 minutes that you're in it. So think about it. You're walking around with 125,000 pores on the bottom of your feet open to your body. And so the microscopic eggs that come from human feces, cyclospora right now is from human feces. That's the parasite flu that's happening right now that started at the beginning of July. Well, it didn't really start. I mean, it's been around for thousands of years. It's just we're all waking up to, oh, it's in the lettuce. Yes, it's in our produce, it's in our meat. If you're eating something raw, you have the potential of having a worm or a parasite. If you have a pet, you have worms. 100% of pet owners have worms. They're out there licking their butt. They're eating each other's poop. They're licking out of ponds. They're licking out of, water that's contaminated. I got worms from my dog, but I had worms before I figured out, right? And it's because people that have Lyme, they all live together. Lyme, mold, and parasites. I'm a magnet to mold and parasites. I don't know why, but my realm really is a magnet to them because they live within the Lyme. And the Lyme is technically considered a bacteria, but it feeds off the host. And the definition of a parasite is anything that feeds off a host. And it's a spirochete that burrows deep down into our body. And most people think that parasites and worms are only in our gut, but I'm here to tell you they're in our blood, our tissue, and our muscle. And they can live in us for a very long time. And a lot of people think you should have worms, and they do give worms to certain people that have like Crohn's to help absorb the heavy metals. But there are ways to work around that where you have these chronic diseases and chronic illnesses, and it's really just giving your body a reset. So the way that I see it is, should we have them? No. Is it natural? Yes. But when our bodies are so overloaded with toxins like they are now, they fester in us. They create an ecosystem in us that you are trying to remove. And once you start to do things like deworm, you will be like, I can't believe I feel like this. I was so sick. I don't know if you've seen my before and after, but I was very, very ill. And the moment I dewormed and I saw the roundworm, flukes, and pinworms in the toilet, and my pain went away, and I've never been the same since, I just felt so validating. And there's just no way you can move past that and not want to continue. I'm addicted to feeling that way now.
Is there still some frustration there, though?
Well, I'm so frustrated on a daily basis because how is this not a thing, right? How is this not a thing? How is it that some random chick on the internet went viral and even in the wellness community, they deny this? And it's like you're telling these people to take all these supplements, they're not absorbing them. If you're not removing environmental toxins out of your body, it's absorbing into the environmental toxin, whether that's a worm or mold. Your body needs to fully cleanse and flush crap out. It has to. And you have to bind stuff. And in Western medicine, I didn't know what a binder was. And now I know. And I know how important having a binder is. And that's why I included it in the Parafy kit, because I didn't know what to do and what all this was. I didn't come from this world. And so I feel like the frustrating part, one is I had to heal on camera. That was very hard for me. I run a business and I started the business 3 months after I went viral while still very ill, not knowing I had mold, not knowing I had Lyme. So I went viral on the parasites in 21. I found out in 22 I was living in toxic mold. And on a scale of 8.5 out of 10, I was 8.5. And so my husband and I probably should have been hospitalized while we were building our log home. We had to get rid of the moldy trailer and became homeless. And I'm still going viral. I go viral every day. And I'm literally like fighting for my life on camera. And then the next year, I was still not at the optimal level I wanted to be. And that's when I found out I had Lyme. I've had very little doctor's assistance. I have one amazing doctor who guides me, and I call her my quarterback. She is a natural doctor oncologist, and she has studied oils and she had worms at one point. So she fully knows this is real, and she does essential oils. So she's really a holistic natural doctor, but her specialty is cancer. And that's why I went to her, because I was treating my endometriosis, which was just unaliving me, which now I know was parasites, mold, and Lyme. And as soon as I started doing these herbs, my endo is in remission, right?
Amazing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I keep telling myself the more I get guests like yourself, like I said, I had somebody that talked about Lyme. It's about having an open mind to all this because, again, all of us, there's so many people with chronic disease right now or chronic illness that how you don't have an open mind to everything at this point is beyond me, especially things that we know have been around for thousands and thousands of years, such as worms.
Mhm.
I mean, again, it's natural. And like you said, there's no cure because it's part of our world, our everyday
Yeah.
world. We're not going to solve it overnight that we'll just never get worms again. It's always going to be in our lives. So, like you said, everybody else is cleansing. Why not us?
Right.
It makes sense.
Why not? They do a tea in Jamaica called the Bush, and they do it monthly. And if you don't, you're really frowned upon. And other countries, like, I get on the phone. I do a lot of podcasts with Nigeria. And so it's kind of cool. Yeah, because we're in the same little group of people. And so I just really am here just to put a message out and get on that informational highway of we need to be cleansing. And so I always ask them, I ask people that are from India and from Nigeria, what do you guys do? And they take a synthetic, but they eat sugar with it so that it draws the parasite out. And then as the synthetic is dissolving inside of their body, it's killing what's been drawn out, but they don't bind. And if you don't bind, you're leaving things behind that the binder can help move out. And I think that that's something that is really important for people to understand. If you're taking ivermectin, fenbendazole, and menbendazole, you have to bind. And it's not helping all worms. It's not helping all parasites. The way that Western medicine synthetically made these antiparasitics is a frequency for issues, not all issues. So if you take ivermectin, you could stir up pinworms because the frequency inside of ivermectin is for flatworm, tapeworm, roundworm, flukes, not pinworms. So now you have disrupted something that they've all lived harmoniously inside of, which is the biofilm. And now you have to go in and tackle itchy butt. I call pinworms lice of the butt because they get everywhere like lice.
Right. It's amazing to me. Kim, I got so many questions, but what do you tell people that need to get started today? Do they just
You
contact you, and how do they contact you?
Well, you should parasite cleanse. That is what I'm always going to say. You can do it 3 to 4 times a year. If you want to do it more, you can. We just recommend 5 to 7 days between each cleanse to let any eggs hatch so you can go in there and get more. I saw your face.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because it's a
trust
crazy
me, I'm laughing
subject.
too. I'm laughing too.
It's a crazy subject. So you if you want to get started, I have free resources. I have free ebooks you can download. I recommend Fast Track Guide. That's going to be your best to kind of get you prepared. I have lymphatic draining ebooks. And then I do like people to start with the lymphatic drainage kit called the Lymph Kit. But, financially, if you can't do that, then you can start with that one, or you can do the Parasite Cleanse and just get started with it. We include instructions. You can watch my videos. I've made like 6,000 videos. Literally, I've done this every day since July 18th of
That's
2021. I
crazy.
podcast or I make a
Uh,
video. I have my whole family in this now, all my friends. I started a podcast, What's Eating You with the letter U, that you
Love
can watch on
it.
YouTube and all streaming platforms. My whole life revolves around educating others so that you don't have to go through what I went through, and making sure that before making a life altering decision, you have all of the facts. I don't regret my hysterectomy, but I do wish that I had known what I know today. And the fact that after it, I still had to live miserably with Lyme and in excruciating pain, but still make it. I'm a high achiever. I used to work 80 hours a week and I got my college degree at night and I used to sleep 2 to 3 hours a day. And so I really wish that I had gotten to enjoy that part of my life while I was going through it instead of being so ill and just making it go through it. So I think that people just need to look into it and be open-minded to it. It is a taboo subject in Western medicine, but your health relies on this. Like your health really depends on it. So why not give yourself a little bit of a chance to see if maybe that's what the answer is?
Especially when there's very little to lose from it
Right. There's
compared
nothing.
to
Some worms, some
compared to
inflammation.
everything else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna take some herbs like cilantro and garlic and clove and wormwood, like, we've all heard of these herbs, it's just
Yeah.
the way that I learned how to process those herbs out of the plant to get the most therapeutic dosages that you can have out there versus just a supplement, and tinctures are the best. They get in your mouth, they're readily available, they go right into your bloodstream, like, I can feel Parafy working. I feel so much better when I do this, and it's because it's suppressing the symptoms, allowing my body to heal behind it. That's what it's doing. And so when you have that mentality and you think about it that way, you're going to do really good things.
Love it. Yes, I will be trying it for sure.
Yay.
I
Yay.
don't well, to be honest, I'm at that point where I don't feel like I have a choice
Mhm.
in trying to heal myself. I'm in kind of the same boat that you were, so it's it's very easy for me to say, "Yeah, let's try something." You know,
Yeah.
especially with my goals. I wanna be there for my kid when he graduates, or kids, I should say. I wanna be there for all of them, so
Yep.
it's important. It really
It
is.
it is, and it will heal your gut as you're doing it, because the gut is the brain, And so when there's that disconnect that's happening, you should also look at stellate ganglia blocks for any PTSD you might have from what you've been through with your health and your wife's health. And so those things are going to help calm your system down and you'll receive the cleansing a lot better. I don't know where you live, but I've done stellate ganglia blocks. They do them for vets. I was almost nonverbal PTSD. Can you imagine me not speaking at all? I can't. I used to work like 4 or 5 hours a professor talking, and I love it. Like I love dumping my brain.
Right.
And so there are things out there, my friend, that are going to help you a lot. And I do recommend watching What's Eating You. We film ourselves going around to other facilities that are medical, showing you these really amazing modalities that you can do so that I break that stigma attached to certain things like IVs. And there's so many things out there for you that you just don't know. And so let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the fact that you have options to go in a holistic way and heal your body, because that's
100%
what
agree.
we're about now, right? That's where
100.
we have to take the universe of people right now. We have to stop this block that our country and other people around the world have, and it's up to us.
Without a doubt, 100%. And that's where that open mind has to come. It has to, because we're in, to me, dire straits at the moment.
We
If
are.
you look at how many people are affected by, again, chronic illness right now, it's everybody you know. It really is. So,
We have to take it into our own hands.
yeah, we do.
We cannot
100%.
we cannot rely on anyone anymore. And that is what my motto is and has been a lot of my life. When I saw the faults of Western medicine while I was in it, I lost a lot of jobs. I've always spoke my mind. I've always been real loud.
I kind of did that too. Didn't lose many jobs, but they had opportunities.
I'm glad. I didn't want to be there and they didn't deserve me.
Right, exactly. Oh, shoot. Kim Rogers, the Worm Queen. I can't tell you how much this means to me that you were on here today. I really do appreciate it. And for everybody out there, please, please look into this because it is that important.
Thank you for having me. And I'm excited for your cleanses. And I would love to come back so that we could chit chat about what you saw and what you felt, because you're going to feel different. You're going to love it. You're going to have a better understanding of your body.
Without a doubt, we will do a live Q&A next time, and yeah, let everybody else get on and see what they think as well.
All right.
All right. All right, Kim Rogers, the Worm Queen. Great. Just amazing. I just love it. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, everybody, thank you all for listening. And as we continue our health and wellness journeys, find the attitude, keep the attitude, go out living. Bye, everybody.